We have taken refuge inside the Sigma stand here at the Photography and Video Show, and I'm here with Tim from Sigma to take a look at some brand new, I mean literally hot off the production line lenses here that fall at opposite ends of the spectrums, it's fair to say. Tell me what's new, Tim.
Yeah, that's right. So they are, like you say, this week. They went on sale 3 days ago, so super new. And we've got, as you say, complete opposite ends of the focal range, I guess. At the wide end, we've got a 15mm fisheye. It's f1.4, and it is the only f1.4 mirrorless fisheye ever built. So it's really unique, and it enables you to get, I mean, it's probably primarily an astro lens, but also kind of extreme sports and fashion, and it's just a really quirky lens that you can use. And because it's got the f1.4, images are totally unique because you can't get a shallow depth of field like that on any other fisheye lens. So it's a really interesting lens.
And there's some really smart features in there as well that will really help, particularly the astrophotography. If you're outside at night, that's a different environment that you're going to find yourself shooting in. So there's some smart features in here that are really going to help that application. Yeah,
that's right. Because it's got a bulbous front element, you can't attach filters to the front, or at least you can, but you need a special filter holder. So we've built a filter holder into the back, so you can drop filters in there, which is great. Also for astro, it's got so the manual focus ring. When you find focus when you're taking astro pictures, you want to find infinity, and once you reach it, it's sometimes quite hard to get. Once you reach it, you want to leave it there. You don't want to touch it. So it's got this really cool feature, which is a manual focus lock. Where is it? There it is. And you just lock it, and then that means that if you move the ring, it's disengaged, so you can't change. So you can't knock. If you knock it, it doesn't matter. It remains at infinity, which is great. It's got an AFL button that you can set to all sorts of different settings. It's got an aperture ring here, which is if I do it in your let's make sure click is on. If I do it in your mic, so you can hear, so it clicks. Really nice click, and then you can turn the clicker off. Nice. So that's really nice. Yep, and then it locks in auto or manual, so which is really nice. It's quite a flat lens here, so you can put a heat strip on really easily, and there's a little lip here to stop that falling off, so if you're doing astro, that's really useful. It's got a dovetail Arca Swiss style foot on it, so you can put it straight onto a tripod without the need for a plate, which is great, and obviously that just rotates around if you're hand holding. So yeah, it's a really lovely lens. It's in the art range, so yeah, build quality is absolutely superb.
Mount availability?
Sony E mount and L mount, so that's any Sony full frame camera or APS-C camera for that matter. And then in L mount, you've got Leica, you've got Panasonic full frame, and Sigma.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Again, astrophotographers be really interested to find out more about that. Let's have a look at the other end of the focal length spectrum, sort of. Tell me what we're looking at here.
Yeah, so this is a 500mm, believe it or not. It's incredibly small for a 500mm, and it's f5.6. And again, this is L mount and E mount, so it's a mirrorless lens. It's from our sports line, so it's fully weather sealed. And again, it's got this dovetail shaped foot on it, so it goes straight into a tripod head, no problem, without a plate, provided it's Arca Swiss. It's also got an aperture ring. That's quite rare for a telephoto prime. It's our first one actually to have an aperture ring, which is great, and that's declickable as well and lockable, which is brilliant. It weighs in at about 1.3 kilos, so it's really light.
For a 500mm especially.
Right, yeah, it's really light. And actually, if I just bring this lens in, this is our previous 500mm, which is for DSLRs. Now, granted, this is a stop faster, it's f4, but nevertheless, you can see the difference. It's huge. I mean, it's quite a sort of heavy and chunky lens. And the advantage of that is that it means that you can take it out on a whim. This one you've really got to want to use it when you're out and about, because otherwise you've got to carry it around with you all day. But this one you can just put in your bag and just, if you see some birds or some squirrels or whatever it is, you can just shoot, and that's great.
Really exciting, and yeah, I think you're absolutely right about the portability and really what that opens up for. Again, if you're going out shooting sports or wildlife, and we've got a picture of a beautiful picture, beautifully sharp picture of the owl behind us as well. You don't want to be lugging around too much kit, or you would rather maybe have space for another lens or some more equipment in your bag to enable you to be even more agile out on a trip.
Exactly right, yeah. And I mean, if you're a bird photographer and you're in a hide all day, I guess that's fine. It doesn't matter. But if you're a motorsport photographer and you've got to go to turn 3, and then you've got to go to the grid, and then you've got to lug a load of stuff around, and it's liberating having something so small. It's brilliant.
I really do feel we've been speaking about lenses a little bit here over the last couple of days at the Photography and Video Show, and it does feel as though we're reaching a period where we're starting to see some real innovation in the lens space that, you may disagree with me, but I don't feel as though we've seen for a little while. We're starting to see some creative options in terms of focal lengths, in terms of aperture availability, and in terms of form factor as well, that maybe we've been missing a bit for a generation or so.
Yeah, I think that's true. Sigma has always been quite an innovative company. I think we've got lots of kind of world firsts in our history. We came up with the teleconverter, and we've got all sorts of the 18 to 35 and the Sigma FP, and there's all sorts of them. And this is a great example. It's the only f1.4 fisheye, which is great, and the 14mm that came out just before this, which looks very similar, is the only 14mm 1.4 on the market. So there's lots of, I think Sigma are trying to push the boundaries. Every time we release a lens, there's something about it that's like unique or just very innovative. So it's great.
1.4 is the magic number. Don't believe what they tell you elsewhere. Tim, fantastic stuff. Thank you so much for chatting us through your exciting new lens range. Like we say, kind of hot off the press or hot off the production line here. And I hope you have a very successful rest of Photography Show 2024.
Amazing. Thanks so much for stopping by.